Have you seen Vadrik? He's ridiculous. Holy crap. We got to talk about him. Okay, guys, welcome to the Actery Magic channel. I'm Steve, the Actery. Today, we're going to be talking about Vadrik, Astral Archmage. Dude, have you not seen this guy? Check him out. Dude, he is a 3-drop, 1/2 human wizard. Oh, hold on. Before we get into that, look at his art. Check out that art. That art is referencing an old card from the original Innistrad block. I've given you a hint. Now, can you guess which one it is? Leave it a comment in the description. Leave the comment below. All right, so we'll talk about that at the end. Anyway, so Vadrik, he's a 3-drop. Izzet on one generic 1/2. He says if it's neither day or night, it becomes day as Vadrik, Astral Archmage enters the battlefield. Cool. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is Vadrik's power. What? X less to cast, where X is Vadrik's power. That's ridiculous. Wow. When day becomes night or night becomes day, put a 1/1 counter on Vadrik. Usually, we're not going to worry about that because, well, right now it'd be pretty good because there's so many people building werewolf decks. I know. I made a video about it. You should go check that out. Anyway, but the first ability is not going to trigger the last ability usually. I don't think. But anyway, let's talk about him. Holy crap. He's making our instant and sorcery cards cost X less. That means that flashback costs, buyback costs, X costs, all of those costs cost X less. Whoa. So let's get his power bigger. All right, first things first, Bone Splitter. It was the first card that popped in my head whenever I saw this guy. It's 1 to drop, 1 to equip. Equip creature gets +2/0. Now your Vadrik is reducing all your casting costs by 3 generic mana. That is so dang good. Hero's Blade. You play Hero's Blade on turn 2, and then it says whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach Hero's Blade to it. And equipped creature is getting +3/+2. So now your Vadrik is like 4 power. All your cards are converted like 4 colorless less. It's just bananas good. Okay, the ones that I'm less stoked about but are still really good. The Hand of Vecna is a really, really good card. It's a 3-drop. At the beginning of combat on your turn, equipped creature or creature you control named Vecna gets +X until undetermined, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Okay, so it says to equip, you pay 1 life for each card in your hand. If we're going to go off, that's not a big deal. But otherwise, we can equip for 2 generic, which is great. But holy crap. So in our second main phase, then we can go off because the combat triggers and then we get +XX, which who knows how much it is. It's going to be like 3+, you know? And so now all of our cards are going to cost 4 less. It's ridiculous. Black Mage Reforged, it's the most expensive of the, actually it's the same cost. It's 2 to drop and 3 to equip. Equip creature gets +1/1 for each land you control. Equip legendary creature for 3 and equip regular creature for 7. Very good card. Very, very, very good card. Now, what are we going to do with it all? Well, we can also just double his power. So Unleash Fury says double the power of target creature until end of turn. Okay, great. So Unleash Fury with Vadrik in play is just going to cost 1 red. Rush of Blood is going to cost 2 with just plain Vadrik, and it could cost just 1 normally, where target creature gets X0 until end of turn, where X is the power. Again, double the power. But then let's hate on our opponents because we're casting all of these beautiful instants and sorceries. Gutter Snipe, Thermal Alchemist, Electrostatic Field, they all deal damage to each opponent. Now, Thermal Alchemist is a 2-drop and it taps and it deals 1 damage to each opponent and untaps whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell. Great, we're casting a bunch. Gutter Snipe and Electrostatic Field both deal 2 and 1 damage respectively whenever we cast one. Awesome, so we're doing damage to everybody. These cards pair super good with Curiosity and Ophidian Eye. Okay, Curiosity is a 1-drop. When an enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. If you have 3 opponents, you're drawing 3 cards off of a Gutter Snipe, Electrostatic Field, or a Thermal Alchemist for each instant and sorcery you cast. Whoa. Ophidian Eye, same thing. And it has Flash. Enchanted creature, whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So these are just great, awesome cards with these 4 here, which we're going to be casting a bunch. You might as well draw a bunch. So next up, we have one of our just plain draw spells. I thought this was just a great thing to just mention, especially off the back of all that draw we're talking about. 1 red, 1 generic, draw a card. Until end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +1/0 for each card you've drawn this turn. May I mention Curiosity and the Gutter Snipe? By the way, so Gutter Snipe with Curiosity on it is going to trigger before Fist of Flame resolves if you cast Fist of Flames. So you're going to draw 3 cards off of the Curiosity because you just dealt damage to everybody. And then Fist of Flames is going to draw another card, meaning Vadrik is going to get +4/0 until end of turn. Good. Anyway, next up we've got Blazing Shoal. If you're not familiar, you exile a red card with converted mana X from your hand rather than pay its mana cost. Target creature gets +X0. It's so good. Surge of Victory. This is a 6-drop. It says exile target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Creatures you control get X0 until end of turn, where X is that card's mana value. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player this turn, copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. You have some way of making Vadrik, unblockable? Man, that's just good business. But it's going to be a 2-mana card pretty consistently. Next up, more mana dumps. Enrage. Target creature gets +X0, and it's a 1 and X. Balduvian Rage, 1 and X. Target creature, attacking creature gets 1 +X+0 until end of turn. Granted, Vadrik has to be attacking, but it does draw a card at the beginning of your next turn's upkeep. Anyway, these are really good. So all of Vadrik's cost reduction can be applied to X. So if you have 3 mana to actually tap, and then Vadrik's power is 3, you're going to be able to tap and make X a total of 5 because 1 for the red. Makes sense? Cool. Big mana dumps, Electro Dominance, and Finale of Promise. These are double red and X. Electro Dominance deals X damage to any target. You may cast a card with converted mana cost X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Sweet, free cards. Finale of Promise. You may cast up to 1 target instant and or up to 1 target sorcery card from your graveyard without each with converted mana cost X or less without paying their mana costs. If a card this way would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile instead. Flashback. If X is 10 or more, copy each of those spells twice. You choose new targets for the spell. It's stupid. Okay, so these are both really dumb. Next up we have on our list, Buyback. Okay, so Buyback cards are good in this deck. So Haze of Rage is a 2-drop, 2 to Buyback. And every point of power Vadrik has reduces the buyback cost and the casting cost. So for 1 mana, and with Storm, oh my goodness, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So you buy it back, you play it again for 1 red. If Vadrik's power is 3, for 1 red, you're going to play Haze of Rage. Another red, you're going to play Haze of Rage. You just keep going, and then you're just going to, like, all your creatures are going to be huge. If you have any kind of, like, young Pyromancer or Talon Sky Summoner, you're just going to have a bunch of creatures that now have +1/0. And then, not to mention, Vadrik's going to be huge. Seething Anger is the same thing. If you have 3 power on a Vadrik, the buyback cost is going to be, reduced by 3. So you're going to pay 1 red to buy it back. And target creature gets +3 until end of turn. So for every 1 red mana you spend on Seething Anger, you're going to reduce the casting cost of spells by 3, which is ridiculous. It's like Dark Ritual, a repeatable Dark Ritual. Wow. Red Ritual. 1 last buyback card. Reiterate is double red. 1 generic. Buyback 3. Again, copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets. So if Vadrik's power is 4, Reiterate costs us 2 every time, and we can always buy it back. This is just, it's ridiculous. Next up, number 6 on our list, Adeliz the Cinder Wind. The red, a blue, and a generic flying haste. I love this card. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, wizards you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. I like this card so much I put it at number 6 because I love just this 2/2 flying haste that's just going to smack people in the face. And I love uncommon cards. And so for those people that are playing on the budget, this is such a good card in this deck. Next up we have... Oh, it went out. Anyway, next up we have Mana Geyser. Holy crap, guys. Double red and 3 generic sorcery. Add a red mana for each tap land your opponents control. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is so good. It's a common. I believe it's back from. I forget how far back it goes, but it's a very, very good card, guys. Get a couple of these in your collection. Any red deck's gonna want it. It's just so good. Next up, a bonus round is double red and 1 generic until end of turn. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, if that player copies it, may choose new targets for the copy. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to town over here. Just never mind me. I believe most of these Vadrik decks are gonna be mostly red cards, but there's gonna be a lot of good blue cards, but most of them are gonna be red. At least that's just the hunch I have. Number 3 on our list is Runechanter's Pike, 2 generic to equip. Equipped creature has first strike and gets plus X 0, where X is the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. I mean, honestly, that's ridiculous. It's so good in this. Oh, by the way, we could have put it with the equipment at the top. Oh well, it's number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list, this is a finisher. Enter the Infinite is 4 blue. Yee. And 8 generic sorcery. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library. Then put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn. You're just going to cast it for 4 red. Oh, a good card that would go really well in this deck because of all the red and the blue switching. Chromatic Lantern might be a good include in here. Just thought of it. Next up on our list, number 1 is Past in Flames. I could not make this list without Past in Flames. All flashback costs are reduced just along with everything else. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost, and then reduce it by Vadrik's cost. And it has its own flashback of 1 red and 4 generic. This is how we win. We win with this card. Now we cast everything in our graveyard through cards like Mana Geyser and all kinds of bananas. But let's talk about the combos, because you know I was going to get into them. The combos are cool. Let's just play Enter the Infinite and Thassa's Oracle. I only cost 6 blue. Chromatic Lantern. But 6 blue to I just won the game, especially if you just drew your library, right? Should be able to do it. Next up, we have Reiterate and Turnabout. So, all right, I want to explain this one to you a little bit better. So, Reiterate and Turnabout usually costs 10 mana to go infinite with. You need to have 10 available mana, and 2 of it needs to be blue, and 2 of it needs to be red. But in our case, let's check this out. If Vadrik is a 4/2 or 4 whatever, okay, everything's going to be reduced by 4 casting cost. That means Reiterate over here is only going to be casting for 2 red to buy it back. Right? We already said that. Turnabout is only going to cast for 2 blue. So what you do is you take Turnabout and you untap all of your lands. With that copy on the stack, you're going to reiterate it with the buyback cost. For, in our case, 2 red, right? Turnabout for 2 blue, reiterate for 2 red. You're going to copy Turnabout before it resolves. Reiterate is going to go back to your hand, and the new copy of Turnabout is going to resolve, untapping all your lands. You tap all of that new mana available to recast Reiterate, retargeting Turnabout. You see where I'm going with this? You're untapping your lands and tapping them infinitely. So any kind of extra mana that you can float while you pay the 4, 2 red, 2 blue, you're going to produce all of that mana for every time you cast a new Turnabout. But Turnabout is going to stay on the stack, and you're going to copy it while it's on the stack over and 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 over again, because you're going to buy back Reiterate. And then you cast into the Infinite with all your red and blue mana. Why not? Anyway, so the last one I want to mention, I think everybody should know about this combo. This is Curiosity and Niv Mizzet. Again, Curiosity is going to draw you a card whenever your creature deals damage. Niv Mizzet, it's a triple blue, triple red. again, Chromatic Lantern. Legendary Dragon Wizard. The spell can't be countered flying whenever you draw a card. Niv Mizzet Perun deals 1 damage to any target. So, if you draw a card, Niv Mizzet's gonna do 1 point of damage. You just need something to activate it. Like drawing for the turn is gonna activate Niv Mizzet, right? So you're going to draw the card. Niv Mizzet is gonna deal 1 damage to target player. Your Gus is gonna draw your card. Then you're gonna do 1 damage to that player, and then you're gonna draw a card, and you're gonna loop and just kill them. The problem with this combo is that you'll deck yourself. So just be aware of that. Unless you have Elixir of Immortality. But anyway, pew 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 pew. Name the movie. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out. I hope you had a good time. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Please, 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 please. Bye. You thought I forgot, didn't you? Look at him. Vadrik Astral Archmage is referencing Lunar Mystic from Avacyn Restored. Check it out. Look at all the constellations. Look at his freaking robe. Look at that dude just being magnificent. Dude, so freaking cool. I love, 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 love the callback. I mean, it's like a callback from like, I don't know. Avacyn Restored came out, it doesn't even say, 2012. It's been 9 years since Lunar Mystic came out. It's that freaking cool. It's a cool callback. I love it. Anyway, love you guys. Bye.